We've got the very latest on the cattle showdown in the Silver State. Harry Reid, the most powerful Democrat in Congress, you may have seen this, described the people gathered at the Bundy Ranch as domestic terrorists. As terrorists. Well, he was at a forum sponsored by the newspaper in Vegas on Thursday, I think, and he clarified those remarks, sort of. Watch this.
If there were ever an example of people who were domestic violent terrorist wannabes, these are the guys. But no one called Bundy's a domestic terrorist. I said the people that came there were.
Yeah, so on Thursday at that newspaper forum, the Las Vegas Journal-Review forum, he said, look, they're un-American, they hate America, and he doubled down. Even then, he repeated himself a couple of times to say that they are domestic terrorists. These people you're seeing on your screen right now who just showed up in support, kids, families showing up in support of the Bundys. They think this is government overreach with all of these police showing up with guns pointed at these individuals.
Well, what have they done? What have they done wrong? That's my question. How are these people domestic terrorists?
Well, they express political views Harry Reid doesn't agree with, so therefore
America?
You're a terrorist. No, I mean, by the way, they're expressing views that were completely mainstream in this country 50 years ago. It's not like they're saying, you know, that we need to turn this into a theocracy or something. They're just saying, hey, you know, back off federal government. Even beyond, for that, they're terrorists.
Even beyond 50 years ago, during our founding, this was something that was talked about all the time, of course.
Well, critics are saying that some are romanticizing this, you know, this mythical American cowboy, this Bundy guy, who has broken laws and who hasn't paid, you know, $1 million worth of taxes or so forth. But, you know, the fact is, again, that these people are just standing up for what they believe in. They haven't broken any laws. And how they can be called domestic terrorists is beyond me and a lot of other folks out there.
Well, especially by Harry Reid. I mean, this is, you want an example of extremism? Here it is. This is the most powerful Democrat in the legislative branch. He should not be using terms like terrorist to describe Americans unless they're committing terrorism. By the way, contrast this with Benghazi. I don't remember Harry Reid describing off the bat the people who killed 4 Americans as terrorists.
Right.
They were reacting against a horrifying YouTube video. He gave them the benefit of the doubt.
He's inflaming what is already a very tense situation because, you know, officials are standing down for now.
Yeah, the BLM backed off.
But for now, you know, the operative words there.
Right. So you're comparing these people to the people here in the United States that perpetrated the Boston bombings, that killed Americans. Dinesh D'Souza was actually out there on the scene, and he describes the people there, and he doesn't see domestic terrorism. Listen.
A whole bunch of people here have little name tags, and even the kids are wearing them, just saying, you know, domestic terrorist. And I think when you look at an all-American kid with a domestic terrorist sign, you begin to see the preposterousness of what is really going on here. So I think that this is not really about whether Mr. Bundy's paid his taxes or not. This is really about the rule of law and whether this administration is enforcing it even-handedly, or whether or not the Obama guys are enforcing the laws they want to enforce and choosing to enforce them against the citizens that they are against.
We'll have much more on the Bundy Ranch situation and the fallout from Harry Reid's comments throughout the show. Meanwhile,